What up? What up? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. You can call me Sleuth. Hope you guys had a great weekend. What's up, Rescue? Shout out to Central Indiana. The lines are open today. If you guys want to join me live, I just ask that you stay on topic. And this is what we will be discussing today in regards to the Delphi case of Abby and Libby, who were murdered in Delphi, Indiana in 2017. So we'll be asking the question, was Abby the target? I'll go ahead and show you why and explain why. Why I'm personally asking that question. We'll be discussing the Marathon gas station and how that piece of information might tie into everything. I deleted 3. We'll save that for another day or maybe at the end. Not sure if I want to talk about that. We'll skip to 4. Multiple people using the Anthony Shots account. Number 5, Keegan-Klein failing his polygraph, according to his interview transcript. At least that's what investigators wanted him to think, right? We'll talk about that. The Delphi swimming hoodie. I cannot explain it. To me, it's a monkey wrench right now. Number 7, what is missing from the Richard Allen and Anthony Shots theory? My answer to that question is the Richard Allen-Klein connection. If it wasn't for that connection, I don't think we would have the Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal theory. That was the distraction. And to keep all you online sleuths from finding that connection. It's there. We've seen the efforts to hide it on the Klein side. They didn't do that good of a job, right? And then we see a clean sweep on the Richard Allen side. And then we'll finish up with my intuition and what my gut is telling me at this point in time. Good to see you, Silas. Jim, hope you're doing well. Wanda. Back to Missouri. You guys are driving? Safe travels. I'm doing well. I hope you're good. You guys be safe. Christine? Hello? What's up, Frank Meister? Taos, New Mexico. Great place. Happy Sunday, Deborah. Welcome in, Lisa. Let me clear my throat. What's up, Jari? And it looks like we got Frank calling in.
What's going on?
How you doing, Frank?
Hey, just woke up a little while ago. What's going on?
Not much. So what do you think about today's topics?
Me and you've had this discussion the last couple days.
The Abbey part
Yep.
could be
Yep.
possible, right? You want to see what I was going to present?
Yeah, because there's some things that we discussed and we were kind of on the same road, but I want to see what you have to say.
Okay, so this theory for me started here. So let me pull this up. At least that's what investigators wanted to think.
You still there?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just pulling something up. All right, there it is. So I think the Inquisitor and maybe Thomas Frost, they both put out that security footage from inside the bar. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you had Richard Allen at one point leave the bar. Like they all left individually. Like you know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's probably like drug related.
Or if you have one or two go out at a time and come back, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like handing it off here. You know, usually
Right.
that's with that white stuff. Is usually when I see that in the bar.
Right.
People handing off and they go do something alone. That way it doesn't look
Conspicuous.
Yeah. So the question was, who is this gentleman? So the two locals that I spoke to said that these guys are really good friends.
Anthony Niebergall.
Have you heard that as well?
Yes. As a matter of fact, a neighbor of Anthony, because about 6 to 8 months ago, I had somebody from Discord reach out to me and ask me if I was able to find out who this guy was. So I put the information out on my Facebook group and YouTube. Within 5 minutes, his neighbor contacted me privately and said, "That's my neighbor." So, and she said he's a good dude outside of his drinking.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about this person here. I'm not
Right.
trying to connect him to the crime.
Right.
What I'm looking for is who brought the wolf into the herd. Who did he follow into that herd? Or who gave him the cover that he needed and who brought him in? Because we know that with the recent death of his brother, that created an absence of his wife, Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter, I believe, moved out in 2016 with her fiance, and I think they ended up getting married in 2018. So he's got the stress piled on, and now he's got a lot of free time. So I think he's tagging along with these guys and wherever they're going. And he's a mutual friend of Anna, right?
Yes.
And Anna's father.
Yes. Cliff. Yeah.
So I have just a hunch that he might be responsible not for any part of the crime, but for dragging this guy into the flock unknowingly.
Right.
You know, what's little Richard going to do?
I mean, you got to realize Anthony also has that contributing to the delinquency of a minor charge too.
Yep, in 2016, right around that very time.
Yep.
October, I believe it was.
It sure was at 1 o'clock in the morning.
And I just found out that the party was at his residence.
Yes. Because I remember reading the report and he wasn't even home when this was all going on. And when the police were called because of some burning trash cans outside of his house, an hour later, he's driving up the street while the police are there and he's drunker than a skunk and he gets
he tried to flee. They like busted the party from my understanding and he was trying to leave.
Yeah,
flee the scene.
Yeah, he got busted for an OWI and plus that contributing.
So, and I think resisting, right? Didn't he get a resisting charge?
He might have. I haven't gone into that whole depth thing with him yet. So
yeah, and Kyle Smith was at that same party. So that ties in the girls right there. and that he ties in Richard Allen. So wherever he's going, to me, there's a possibility that he's tagging along, especially between September of 2016 all the way up until the murders. I'm assuming he has free time, considering in September that's when his brother-in-law passed away.
Is that Kathy in the middle, or who is that?
Yeah, that's Kathy.
Yeah, because it's blurred real bad, and I can't tell who it is.
Yeah, the reason I kind of have it like this is because I was trying to compare his face to the bridge guy.
Right.
Kind of like that. And do some editing on it and see what popped out.
I think the best photo you did is the one where you did a half and half with Bridge Guy with Richard Allen. I think it was the best you've done.
Yeah, it took me a while to get to that point.
Right.
Here's I think this is Anna, who, we definitely have Anna's back, whatever she needs or is going to request from us. Well, we got her. But we do need to point out the fact that this person here is the same person, correct? Playing pool.
Yep.
And he is good friends with Anna and her father, as well as Richard Allen. So there's a connection right there. And then he's also the one who was contributing to the delinquency of a minor shortly before the murders with people that Abby and Libby hang out with and know personally. So is it possible that Abby somehow crossing paths with Richard Allen?
Well, see, and like we've talked about before, is that text message between Libby and Abby. And she keeps talking about she keeps getting a strange number calling her phone or iPad or whatever she had, and she didn't recognize the number. And she said she had to go check the message. That kind of was a bell ringer in my head.
That was right around the same time as well.
Right. And then you have that interview with Anna where she said they were walking out of the CVS, I believe it was, and there was a guy that was standing there and
well,
said,
they didn't say the CVS, but man, it makes you wonder if that is the CVS. Let's watch it real quick.
Yeah.
So here, let me pull it up. Oh shit, who did this interview? Let me find out real quick. I want to make sure this isn't like Gray Hughes. I think it's Ebert.
Fake posted it in Discord.
Damn it. Oh well. I mean, we're doing fair use anyway, but I'll put the link in the description at some point.
Yeah, we did. We'd had a minimal incident of somebody at a local store.
So local store, I mean, that could be CVS, right? Frank,
yeah,
is that you?
right there is kind of suspicious to me.
What's that noise? Is that you typing?
No, it's me putting my earbuds in. I had to go grab my hitter.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's that freaking noise? It's like a clicking noise or something.
Yeah, this interview right here is really that caught my attention when I saw this.
So let me play this back.
Yeah, we did. We'd had a minimal incident of somebody at a local store.
So local store.
I noticed him when I walked in, but when people are standing at the checkout and somebody comes in the door, you tend to look up because you're going to run into somebody in town 9 times out of 10.
And if it was a CVS, why would he be at the checkout? He would be behind the counter.
You're not going to slip past a teacher, a coworker, a friend, somebody the kids know, and you're going to wave and say hello. This particular person did not. I remember seeing them as they were checking out, but they were sitting in their car while we walked out.
Almost like they're waiting for him, huh? Whoever this person is.
All right, we got 137 in chat and only 40 something likes. People, we need to hit that like button, guys.
What's up, Jill? Doris, devoted to Mariah, Jari. Good to see everybody.
By the way, Jill had a family member pass away a day or two ago. Sending prayers out to Jill Mosier. It was Brad's brother passed away.
Sorry to hear that, Jill. Let's see. Up, Sensei. Sensei's in the house. Oh, I got something for you, Sensei. Hold on.
We do not train to be merciful here. Mercy is for the weak. Here, on the street, in competition.
Out to Sensei.
The old Cobra Kai.
We do not train to be merciful. All right, who am I missing here? Let's finish this up.
I was unaware how close we were parked to them. And I think he said something in reference to, you look like you know who I am, or you know who I am. And I said, well, I apologize if I don't remember. I've worked in a lot of different places. I'm not great with names. But I remember how he looked down at her in the car and then looked back up at me. And we just immediately left.
Yeah, what the hell? I wonder when this happened. Has anybody talked to Anna about this since and asked, hey, now that you've seen Richard Allen, he's been arrested, he's the main suspect, they're going to take him to trial for participating or if not perpetrating the entire murder. I wonder what she has to say about it. Like, no, that's not the guy that I spoke to. Like, or that's not the guy who was looking at my daughter or playing a role in this incident. Do you know anything about that, Frank?
Not at all. I mean, Anna's, she really doesn't discuss anything at all. I've tried to talk to her a couple times and she just can't stand YouTubers at all. So she prefers not to talk to them.
Yeah, I like Anna. Missing unsolved crime. Good to see you. Jerry, what's up? Jill from Washington.
And I'm trying to put together the connection with Keegan and his dad.
With what?
With the Anthony Shots account. Because like I said, we know that Richard Allen lived in Wabash around the same time as TK's dad did. So what's the chances of them knowing each other?
Well, from my understanding is this, and this is the part that I was going to talk about. We can talk about it now. Let me pull this up again. So yeah, the missing piece, Richard Allen and the Klein connection. Remember, he lived in Denver. He went to Miami High School right there. And from my understanding and from what I heard from locals there is that they knew each other.
Yeah.
And that Richard Allen and Kathy were not high school sweethearts at all. They got married right after graduation. They began dating, but that they were not dating in school. They were just good friends, and that they were all friends with the Kleins, and that they had a group of people that they hung out with near 2nd Street in Peru.
Right.
Now you even had Keegan Klein bring that up. He's like, "Oh, I heard some YouTubers talking about 2nd Street." He's like, "Well, I have friends from 2nd Street." And then he started talking about that he may have lived near Richard Allen when he was like around the age of 10. But how would he remember? He said, you know?
Right. And see, I even threw that in Keegan's face when I was talking to him through the chirps. I said, man, I done figured out that your grandfather lived by Richard Allen at one point in time in the area, and he would not respond to me about it.
And what's with this weird property line? This weird triangle here, right? You want to talk about feeding into some kind of conspiracy? It's like outside of the city limits.
Right.
You see that?
Yeah.
What the hell is that all about?
Because they've always said that the crime scene was outside the Delphi city limits. So that's why Carroll County took it over.
Yeah, and you can see right here, it's not in Delphi. It's just outside. And then you have the straight line here from the Methodist Church from Richard Allen's home all the way to Abby's backyard, because I think she lived somewhere over here at the time. And then also you have the Marathon gas station. We're going to talk about that. Now, why do you have Keegan-Klein looking up the Marathon gas station? And it's also on Richard Allen's daily route.
Oh, what was I getting ready? I just had something pop in my head and it just went. Oh, remember that email I sent you
Which one?
about the red Jeep?
What about it?
I emailed that dude again. He was in my chat last week and I said something to him and he still ain't responded.
Do you want to talk about that? You want to tell that story?
You know, why not? Ruckus and I had received a message from a guy that used to live in Kokomo. And he was telling me a story about that his parents still live in the Kokomo area and that his neighbor one day had a bunch of unmarked cars, police cars out there, and they they impounded a red Jeep. Well, like, I guess within a few days later, they brought the Jeep back, and this guy told me that they ran the VIN number on the vehicle and that the vehicle was bought at a used car lot in Grissom. And when they ran the VIN number and it came back to the Kleins. So there has to, if this is legit of what this guy is saying, there has to be something tied in with that red Jeep.
Well, there was rumors also that they were digging up
Richard or the parents' fire
Kagan's grandfather's fire pit.
Yeah.
And this is all before Richard Allen.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is all, and I have that timeline and everything. And that's why everybody was really tripping out about the Wabash River search, because we had that whole Tony Klein incident, remember, where everybody thought he was going to get arrested.
Oh yeah, everybody went live that day.
I think that's why this person that you're referring to might have had a lot to do with that. You know, letting a few people know what was going on, boots on the ground,
Right.
thinking like, hey, it's going to happen here momentarily. They just dug up the fire pit and took his Jeep.
So what do you think of the text messages between Keegan and Holly where he admitted to throwing the phone in the creek?
Well, she also admitted to throwing a phone in the creek. So which is true?
Right. Right.
But I believe that they were looking for a phone in the Wabash River.
I do too. I do believe that too.
And that's what we're going to talk about here in a minute too. Here, let me pull this back up. Multiple people using the Anthony Shots account. And I guess we can kind of get scatterbrained with it. Let's pull this up.
Yeah, that's something that I mentioned yesterday in the Discord. I said, what if Keegan, his dad, had access to that account? He knew Richard Allen, and only Keegan knew Richard through his dad. And he had access to the Anthony Shots account.
Well, my theory is this, and this kind of, like I said, we can do it scatterbrain if you want. We're covering all the topics, but my gut tells me that Richard Allen was using Keegan and his tools. You know, he needed him to finish his plan. He needed to know, and this fits into the Abby angle. He needed to know what she planned to say about him. That's why he targeted Libby and was using Keegan-Klein and his tools, you know, his catfishing capability. And once he discovered what their plans were, that's when he knew that he was going to kill them. Now, we also have this here saying, this is Keegan-Klein's interview transcript. It says here, investigator tells Keegan-Klein, okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier. So that would have been 8 o'clock in the morning. We know Keegan-Klein's not up at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Can we agree on that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So who is at the Klein residence logging into the Anthony Shots account into one phone? So he basically logged in the Anthony Shots account into two separate phones. You have it logged in here in one, then logged into another, and then back into that original phone. Now, this is the morning of the murder. Okay. And if that's not Keegan-Klein, who is setting up this phone. Now, this is the very phone that I believe this is Richard Allen at this point in time, possibly, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now too.
And it could be the very phone that they were looking for in the Wabash River. But I don't think that he dumped it until after the 19th, or maybe even after the Kleins were raided. And I also think that the ski mask incident had nothing to do with Keegan Klein. And I don't believe Keegan Klein was the person responsible for searching the ski mask victim on Facebook. Because remember, if Richard Allen is this person here who logged in and logged out before the murder, now has access to one of many of Keegan Klein's phones, right?
Right.
It's going to have access to his Facebook. It's going to have access to everything.
And see, with the ski mask incident, man, I'm still kind of stumped on that because, like I said, I talked to the actual sheriff in the county that allegedly took place in, and he even did 2 days worth of search for me. He started the 1st of February and went all the way through the whole month, and he couldn't find anything, police call or run.
Yeah, it's because we don't have the facts. You're giving
Right.
somebody facts that you're giving somebody tools to find something where we don't even have those tools to provide yet.
Right.
So they can't find something that has nothing to do with their county or their office. You know, it may even be just directly relating to the Delphi case. This may be part of that case.
Right.
And what I think also in the Keegan Klein transcript, there's a point in time, and we can pull that up now because it's relevant. And I was confused on this for a while. But there's a conversation they discuss a conversation to Keegan Klein about one of Libby's friends reaching out to Keegan, the Anthony Shots account, saying, "Did you hear what happened to Libby?" I always assumed that was Kelsey, but it's not. These are two separate incidences.
I think it might have been Bree.
I'm not. Whoever it is, I think is also the same person who was almost victimized in the ski mask incident. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, what's so strange is that this incident, like we said, it happened on Valentine's Day. And then you got 2 weeks later, Keegan's being arrested. And then all of a sudden they're questioning Bree. I know that she had ties to the Keegan Klein or the Anthony Shots account, but what was the whole, you know what I mean?
Well, this is what I think happened. So let's read this here. Mind where the girl contacted Anthony Shots and said, "Did you hear what happened to Liberty?" And Anthony Shots' response, "OMG, what happened?" And then she goes and tells him what happened. And then Anthony Shots says, "Well, I was supposed to meet that girl and she never showed up."
I don't think it's Keegan.
It's not. I don't think it is at all. And I used to think that this was the conversation between Kelsey and Keegan. But no, they bring that up at another point in time. That's a whole separate situation. So if this is not Kagan, guess who it is receiving this?
Yeah.
This is the killer.
Yep.
And the killer saying, "Okay, why do I have Libby's friend, who I've never communicated with this person? How does she know that I'm connected with Libby? Why is this person reaching out to me as if they know that I'm Keegan Klein?" I'm not Keegan Klein. I'm using Keegan Klein, but guess what that means to me as a killer? This person can tie me to Keegan Klein and the fact that I'm using the Anthony Shots to target these girls. So guess what I have to do now? I have to put on my ski mask and I have to go silence and tie up these loose ends. If you just killed two girls, what's one more?
Well, have you tried reaching out to Kyla?
No, but I do know somebody who has.
She's in some deep shit right now, though.
Well, there's a lot of talk that people that she's connected to might be even connected with Richard Allen and might know a lot more about what happened that day.
She's looking at prison time right now for that armed robbery. So I doubt she's going to talk to anybody.
Well, maybe that'll motivate her.
Right. Cut some time off of her sentence she's going to get.
Yeah, because the person that she was dating at the time is also connected to Keegan Klein.
Oh, yeah? Who's that?
That's that killer Cam.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Killer Cam. And it's funny that we've been seeing somebody trolling with that name. They probably know about the theory, but I mean, what if this guy's really that stupid? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And remember, this is the guy that left to Vegas also. He lived with the old Durkee boy.
Oh.
They were roommates together in Vegas.
Where's he originally from?
I want to say Florida.
Boston Christian. It was Kyla Brummett. She got arrested for armed robbery.
Oh, Sensei Wackadoodle sponsoring today's live stream. Thanks for all your hard work, Sleuth. You are appreciated. Covered a lot of cold cases that would be unresolved if it wasn't for people like you. And thanks for the Karate Kid clip. No mercy. Yeah, we do not train to be merciful here in this dojo.
I'm the same way on my channel.
Okay, so let's say this. We got somebody logging in, logging out into the Anthony Shots account 8 a.m. in the morning. Hypothetically speaking, let's say that's Richard Allen or one of the killers who's with Richard Allen, right? Now they commit the murder. They still have the phone. And people are communicating now with them. Hey, have you seen? They're like, oh, shit. You're not supposed to know that I'm connected with these people. Allen-Klein didn't tell me that he knew any of these people personally. So I just find it strange that when Libby meets Anthony Shots, she's with this person or with this family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, shortly after the murder, it appears that somebody connected to the Anthony Shots account was targeting this person that's connected with that very sleepover.
Right.
What are the odds of that?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, I've been told that it wasn't Kyla, it was somebody else that introduced Libby to the Anthony Shots account. So I can't get no verification on who did what.
Yeah, and it's still like a mystery, but it's somebody related to them, somebody very close to them.
Right. And I know that Kyla has a sister too. So,
and another strange thing that's mentioned in the Allen-Klein transcript is that they say there is a police report. So it's out there. We just got to keep looking for it, Frank. It's there somewhere.
I'm going to have to call that sheriff again. And see, because
I think we need to find more. We need to find more details about the person that where this happened and who it happened with. That's the only way you're going to be able to find the police report, is knowing exactly which county, which department, who responded. And it may even be part of the Delphi case. And this is why I think that
it's probably sealed to where we can't see it.
It could be because they said, hey, this is how everything started last time. This is how everything started last time. So they get a call about a ski mask. And remember, they're not going to be talking to the young girl, right? They're going to be talking to the young girl's parents. Like,
well,
okay,
I mean,
what happened? Show me the phone. You know, the kid's not going to be part of this conversation. The parents are going to be discussing this with the police. The parents are going to be giving them the devices. Look, here's the phone. They're going to see a conversation with that same Anthony Shots character who is on a list of characters that they would like to speak with relating to the Delphi case. And when they say this is how everything started last time, that's what they mean.
Yeah, we do need to find a connection on who knew who in that situation. Definitely need to find that out. Because whoever she was communicating with knew everything about the crime, and it was just like, oh my goodness. And you got these young kids, and they just don't know what to do with the information, you know what I mean? Especially if they're tied into it.
And then you have the whole code of the streets, you know, I'm not a snitch.
Exactly. That's what I mean, you know? So, but yeah, I've been digging hard into the Abby situation because all the stuff that we've uncovered here in the last couple months. And I'm like, man, I wonder if this is tied to Abby at all. Because like I said, man, it didn't make any sense that he threw Libby to the side like a piece of garbage and left her completely naked like that. And he kept Abby presentable like he had remorse of some sort.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Like she was the protector and he conquered her.
Or he was after her and Libby got
Libby.
way.
That's what I'm saying. Libby was her protector,
right?
And he was able to conquer that.
Right.
threat. Here, let me pull something else up.
And that would be explain the reason why she took the blunt of the injuries, because she was defending Abby.
So he lives very close by.
Is that 200 right there?
Which one? Right here?
Yeah, that's 200, right?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Huh. Somebody else used to live right by Richard Allen. That's a real asshole in the community.
The Nevergall character in that party took place right here.
Yep.
Okay, so he could easily hike over here if he was meeting up, grooming her, which I think is what happened prior to the whole Anthony Shots situation. I think the Anthony Shots was used to lure and to glean information off of Libby as to what Abby had planned for what was going on. And this is what he could easily just go underneath this bridge, and he's at her home.
Right.
Wouldn't be hard. There's trails
And
all
you
through
could
there.
also take the trail that comes off the bridge, and it basically, when you follow that trail, it backs up to Abby's house or the trailer.
Yep, right here.
Yep. Yeah, because I do believe they lived in a trailer.
And then you also have let me see if I pulled any of this. The strange behavior from Richard Allen. Same time period, right before the murders.
What the hell?
He looks young right there, huh?
Yeah.
Look how young he looks.
Yeah, he even full of energy.
Underneath that light, he looks like a young person. Look at that.
Yeah.
20? I don't know about 20 years old, though. But with that beanie on and you not knowing you're supposed to remember him, you could think maybe curly hair. Short bill on it. That's what they were looking for. Somebody with a short billed cap.
Dance, baby.
Really? Oh my God. Oh my God.
This was also around that same time.
You look at him now and you wouldn't think he would be doing that shit prior.
But look at that jacket. This is December of 2016.
About the same time that Keegan commented on Libby's Snapchat.
Yep. Exact time. We'll get into the swim hoodie in a little bit. Wait, there was a photo I was going to show.
So
I think this was posted by Wife Lilith a while ago. This was when they raided the Kleins.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
What was I getting ready to say? Hell, it's slipped my mind.
All right, let me go back to. Okay, so we got Marathon gas station, multiple people using the Anthony Shots account. Now that could be Kagan's father.
Right.
And then I also think that might be the reason that Richard Allen wanted to use it. But he just didn't. I think he messed up. He didn't realize that somebody actually knew Keegan-Klein.
That he knew.
Yeah, he didn't know that there was a personal connection there, which would eventually lead to his arrest. And I think that's what happened. It did. That's how everything started, So I think if he would have been successful in targeting this person, he may have never gotten caught.
So what is your thoughts on possibly that one of the family members tipped him in? Because I've seen a lot of that talk here lately.
I don't know, man. I'm not buying it. I'm so caught up right now on the timing of the Wabash River search and the arrest of Richard Allen.
Right.
I'm stuck on it. To me, it's just too much.
Yeah, I'm stuck on the Abby part with the Texas and the video with Anna. I mean, it's all basically pointing in that direction at this point in time.
It's possible that they were sharing the same space and time because Richard Allen and his wife frequent in the bars, and that was Anna's. That's what she did for her job. She worked in these local bars here, right?
Yep.
So that's what she said in that interview. Like, I run into a lot of people in my line of work, so forgive me if I don't remember you. And then we talked to Patrick Westfall, where he said he was with his girlfriend and they went to the bar. Remember that?
Yep.
And he said that he called her over and they ended up hanging out. So it seems like everybody would have known her.
Teresa, you're not understanding how defense teams work. I'm reading the chat here.
Why? What happened?
She said defense offering to go pro bono speaks volumes. If they didn't think he was innocent when they offered that, they're just trying to get their name out there. That's what a lot of defense attorneys do. They get a big case like this, they're going to do everything possible to get their name out there so they can get more clients.
Yeah, I mean, it may have been pro bono, but to them, they were still seeing the value in it.
Right, exactly. And I still believe that Westerman and Baldwin are up to something on this next hearing. Why would he take an attorney from Baldwin's office?
Yeah.
And an attorney who was looking at 10 years in prison for habitual offender, drunk driving. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So that's telling me that they're trying to push the narrative still for the old defense team.
Yeah, and I think he agreed to take the bullet on that.
Sorry that you feel that way, Teresa, but that's just my opinion. A lot of attorneys do that.
All right, let's go to the Marathon gas station. We'll do a replay here on just a short clip of this. Let's go to, I think I timestamped it, 7:35.
Oh, that's the old FBI guy.
Yep.
Seen him many a times downtown Indianapolis.
It's kind of more of just a refresher. And I'm pretty sure this is the main source. Okay, a little context. This was when the murder sheet came forward and they were talking about a source that they had who was most likely Michael Thomas, right? At the time. Told them that the Wabash River that Keegan-Klein had searched the Marathon gas station on his phone the day of the murders. And they went there to recover the security footage, and it ended up being destroyed somehow. So let's take a listen of the Marathon information. So whoever the murder sheet, whoever their source is the person who leaked that information. Good afternoon. State jurisdiction of the state police and Doug Carter, a superintendent of Indiana State Police, is a good friend and a great colleague during that time and continues to be a great friend. Hold on.
That almost sounds like Julie Melvin talking.
He came and asked for our assistance. Our understanding from a law enforcement source was that the FBI was in charge of obtaining relevant surveillance from local establishments that included Marathon gas station in Delphi. And remember, the FBI was on the scene nearly immediately. It's not as if they were responding weeks later after all the tapes had been wiped clean, but even as the murders continue to go unsolved for years, other law enforcement officials rested assured that the FBI had done all it could to obtain the relevant surveillance footage from the area establishments. Well, this became highly relevant later after the investigation began pointing back to Keegan-Klein and his father, Tony. As it turned out, our sources tell us. What's up, ATS? And our sources tell us that Allen-Klein had searched for the location of the Marathon gas station in Delphi. On the day of the murders, if police could have reviewed the surveillance footage from the Marathon and saw that it picked up Kagan, his father, or one of their vehicles, then that would have been huge. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Let's see. I'm just reading through the chat. I think I upset somebody.
Who is that, Teresa?
Yeah. She said take her rent. She wants to be able to have her own opinion. I wasn't trying to dog her opinion. I was just saying. I don't know if somebody pissed her off or if it was me or what it was. But there, you were okay. Now I'm confused on the polygraph because Keegan said that they told him it failed, but we know that law enforcement will tell somebody they failed even though if they passed it.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about. So I have that here. Let me open them both. All right. So when he got arrested, this is part of the probable cause affidavit. It says here, after Keegan's interview, he was polygraphed at the Peru State Police Post by Sergeant Matthew Collins. Keegan and Sergeant Collins spoke about this incident and case. We now know that's the Delphi case. Kagan again admitted to creating the fake Anthony Shots profile and speaking to underage girls. Keegan told Sergeant Collins the girls ranged from 15 to 17. That's part of his half truth, right? Years old, and he knew their ages because they told him how old they were. Keegan stated he received approximately 100 sexual pictures from underage girls. So we know for a fact that he took a polygraph, and this is what his transcript said. He said, "I literally have no clue how that girl died. I don't know anything to do with it. Yeah, that is weird ass coincidence that I happen to talk to her. Like, I get that. Like, he may not even know, right? If somebody came over in the morning and logged in and out to one of his devices that he can't find, why would he know?" And it says here, communicated after her death, Anthony Shots communicated online to others that he was supposed to meet Libby, but she never showed up. Klein told investigators he believed he was being interrogated again as a murder suspect. Killing 2 girls? That's what they said to me. They tried to say that I failed the polygraph and that I did it. Me or my dad, he said.
Yep.
It's crazy. So he failed the polygraph test.
Well, according
or did he?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, we don't know for a fact that he did or if he didn't. I mean, that's just one of those tactics that law enforcement uses to try to get people to talk. Hey, we know you failed the polygraph, so you might as well just come clean.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. And they can't do that. We've learned that.
Exactly. But the more and more we read about this, you could tell that it's almost like he didn't know anything about what happened. It was somebody close to him that did it, that used that account.
And he may have nothing to do with any of that. But he knows who it was, though.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, like I said before, and I've said it in the past, I said, if you're the creator of an account, you're going to get a notification every time somebody logs in and out of that account. Just like if I gave somebody a password to my Facebook and I'm logged out and I gave them the password, once they log in, I'm going to get an email saying that a strange, unauthorized login was done to your Facebook. I get those all the time in my emails.
Here's a little bit more from his interview transcript about other people using the device in phonetics. Investigator says, so we would expect that, but you got to understand we need an answer for this, right? Because it's all you or it's you and someone else. And Kagan doesn't disagree with that. He says, right. But I don't know who it is, but I'm telling you, I did not any children at all. So investigators had just told him, like, hey, there's like young children being victimized on these devices as young as 3 years old, along with like animal stuff.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going through it then. Okay. He says, all right. So I tend to believe Kagan here. Like, he may not know who this is. Why would I video? And then also they're telling him that whoever was communicating with these girls would then transfer them over to Skype. So to me, that might play a part in the motivation, right? They come on camera and the girls record them. Maybe that's why they had to reset the phone. Like, you better reset this phone. Maybe that wasn't enough. They said it's not enough. Like, we're going to have to do more. We're going to have to kill these girls or we're going to prison. Why would I video chat with somebody? You know what I mean? I'm obviously not that person.
I would like to know who the hell Abby was talking to. Because we know that they pulled all kinds of data information on Abby as far as social media, phones, tablets, and all that
Her
stuff.
Gmail.
Yeah.
And she has an email address. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a connection. If there's a connection, it's got to be there. It can be found, right? If it exists.
Of course. It's just the time and trying to find the right angle to try to find this stuff.
Let's see what else I wanted to talk about here. Let me see if we got everything on the. I did pull these maps here. Go ahead, Frank. I'm just.
Somebody asked in the chat earlier why they went to Kathy's work to interview her. They went to her work and had her come to the police station, is my understanding.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably to interview her.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking also.
What's up, Captain?
Yeah, devoted. Yeah, I want to know who was calling Abby, and Abby didn't know who it was. That's what I want to know. And more than likely came from her burner phone if it hasn't been brought out yet, or if they just not telling us who it was.
I mean, even the path, if Richard Allen's guilty of this crime, even the path that he took, that he chose to take that day, to me just points to how premeditated this was and how targeted it was.
Well, I mean, I think we all got the assumption that it was premeditated. I mean, if he had a gun on him and whatever else he had under his jackets or whatever, that's just an indication to us that he was premeditated to do something. We didn't know if it was going to be murder or if it was going to be a sexual assault or what his
or intimidation, maybe.
Right.
Like, I told you to delete your phone. I used the Anthony Shots account. You guys are still talking about me. You said, I know that you guys are planning to turn me in. I can't have that.
Hey, Captain Howdy's in the house. Good to see you, bud.
So I'm trying to figure out what might be over here. I know you got Ron Logan. Here, let me go to a zoomed. There we go. Now, forget Wilson Bridge. Why go all the way to Wilson Bridge when you can just go right here?
Wilson's Bridge is about a half mile away.
That's way up here.
Yeah.
So if you have people with you, let's say they met Richard Allen at the Marathon gas station, right?
Mm-hmm.
He drops them off. Kagan stays over there at the gas station. These two knuckleheads go on. And I don't know if it's a Tony Klein situation, but I think somebody similar, right? A roommate, somebody that's in Keegan Klein's life that might be a little bit older. We know the roommate was military. Richard Allen's military. So there could be a connection there as well.
We also know that that Anthony Nievergall was military too.
Exactly. So, I mean, potentially we could be looking at other suspects. There's nothing that points at them, right? Directly.
Right.
But that's what Richard Allen didn't want people to find. We have Baldwin and Rosie, a.k.a. Richard. They were representing Richard Allen. So that is Richard Allen. They're representing his intentions. And he did not want us looking at any kind of connection to him and Anthony Shots whatsoever. Not even mentioned in that memorandum. I don't think one time.
Well, then you got to also look at that memorandum too. And I brought this up on a couple different occasions. Why were they so determined to prove that it was not him at the actual scene where the girls were found? They never mentioned anything about him being bridge guy, being on the bridge, or anything. Why didn't they bring none of that up? It was never mentioned in the memorandum.
Because that's where they want us not to look.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I've told people. They don't want us knowing something on that part of the whole scenario.
Yeah.
There's something there they don't want us knowing.
Yeah, there's a connection. There's a reason that Richard Allen knew about the Anthony Shots account, and there's a reason that he went to that residence to utilize the account for what he had planned.
Now, where does the Country Club Road Trexler house come in?
I'm not
'Cause
quite sure.
remember-
I'm not quite sure it's related, but one thing that did stand out to me, it could be all part of the alibi. You know,
Right.
it's the same thing that not saying JP is related to any of this, but we know that he was there that day. And one thing that he said that he has in common with Allen-Klein was about Google. They both said, I've allowed Google to track my every moment, my every movement. Well, if you know that, you could use that as an alibi.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna-
JP's name being brought up again too.
Yeah.
Out of
So
the Peru area. 'Cause it
I mean, he
mentioned
was
by
there
the
that he was there between 3:30 and 4, he said. What does that mean?
Let's see. I don't know, but it's just there's something we're missing, dude. There's something we are missing.
And I think it has to do with this. I don't know why. Let me pull this up. I think we'll finish with this, Frank.
And that's another thing I wanted to bring people's attention to. If you guys go back to when the law enforcement announced when the girls went missing, what they were wearing, and now we've got a bunch of people thinking that Abby had on Libby's jeans. So what I did is I placed a message to Kelsey to get verification on her. I haven't heard back from her yet to see exactly if she had jeans on or sweatpants, because Ellie's saying she had sweatpants on. So why people were thinking that Abby had Libby's jeans on don't make any sense.
Well, because that's what the memorandum says, but we know that they've been wrong before.
Right.
So they may be misinterpreting it, because you've seen the crime scene photos, Frank.
Yeah.
Does it look like Abby could be wearing the same pants that she was on? They're
Yes.
just kind of
Wet.
kind of crumpled and like kind of pulled down somewhat a little bit.
They got her pants were unbuttoned, and they exposed her belly a little bit, and it looks like the same jeans she had on the bridge.
Okay, so let's clear that up. So it's not like they completely redressed her. Honestly,
Right.
they may have just put this hoodie on her. Like, I don't want you to be cold.
Right. Exactly.
Like, even though she's passed away, right? I don't want her to be cold.
Showing a little bit of dignity.
And not even really coming to terms what this killer had just done.
Right.
Like, even to assume that she needs to be warm, he's trying to undo any of the damage that was done.
And that's why I'm starting to think maybe this has something to do with Abby.
Yep,
He wanted her to look presentable, and like I said, with Libby getting in the way, he just threw her to the side like a piece of trash. Didn't give a damn what she looked like. It was all about Abby. That's where I'm leaning right now. So
yeah, I think he needed to, and that's where we go to the conclusion of today's live stream. Is my intuition tells me that if there's something that needs to be uncovered, it's a relationship between Richard Allen and Abby. They shared the same space and time. They were in the same equator. They were crossing paths multiple times. You got people like Nebergall who could be tracking this fool into her circle, unknowing that they're making some kind of a contact, friend request, Snapchat. Are you on Facebook? We also have Dairy Queen right there next to the CVS.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Kelsey working at the CVS and the girl spending quite a bit of time at the Dairy Queen. So I just see it's more likely that Abby was the target, if she was targeted, right? If we're not dealing with the lone wolf, which we could be. But for this theory, she is targeted, and Anthony's shots is utilized as a tool after the fact to then silence the girls, is what
Right.
my gut is telling me.
Right.
And I think that this hoodie right here leans towards that. Even though Abby is dead, he's putting on a hoodie. He's not redressing her. I don't know what was going on with the bras and all of that. I don't know if that's something the killer did also for other reasons. I'm not quite sure what was going on with that.
He could have try to make it look like it was a sexual assault to throw off LE. That's why Libby was undressed.
And if he had a secret relationship and was grooming Abby, he would also know about Logan.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so he
yeah.
would know about the occult angle. He would, so if he's doing a poor job of setting somebody up, that could be what we're seeing as well, right? A poor setup job, if
Possibly.
anything.
And I
If
started going
anything.
back. I went back to the timeline and some other information I think you know about, but I don't want to bring it up in the chat right until we can vet it. But God damn, I just lost track of mine again. Oh, the timeline. I'm starting to think that the girls were already deceased before 3 o'clock.
Around 2:30.
I'd say 2:45, somewhere in that area.
Abducted 2:15, takes probably about 5-10 minutes to get to the very bottom and all the way over under the Weber property.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then
Get them across the creek.
Yeah. Do you think they crossed first, right? And then
I would think they would. I think that they made a run for it, is what I'm thinking.
Okay, and then one was hit right there on the edge, and then the other was hit 50 feet in away from the water. That makes sense.
But like I said, we just don't know. This is something that we got to brainstorm, But like I said, I'm starting to wonder if the time frame is off by at least 45 minutes, because some information that we've gathered that we can't present right now would only suggest that they were killed by 3 o'clock, because then he had to do some other things and then be on 300 by 4 o'clock. There's some other things that I've heard. I haven't vetted it yet, but it only makes sense to me because there's the Weber property had 3 search warrants on it, but they end up searching that property more than 3 times. So what does that tell you? They have either found something and they went back multiple times to see if they could find more things, or that's just.
Did you see the photo that that Rittenhouse character put out?
Yes. Somebody sent it to me, and I was like, man, that don't even look like the crime scene, because that PVC piping sticking out of the ground, that's not even at the scene.
No, that's behind the cemetery.
Is it? I've never seen that.
I've seen it in Randy's video. If you go, he kind of does a little panoramic view. He says, this is what it looks like behind the cemetery. And that's exactly what it looks like. So I don't know what that is. Are they trying to say it's a camera or something?
I have no clue, because somebody sent me the photo yesterday, and I said, that don't even look like the crime scene to me as many times as I've been out there.
Let me see if I have it. I don't know what the hell it is.
Beth Gonzalez sent it to me yesterday. Let's see.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. See that right there, that black tarp? It looks like they were trying to fix something right there. And that's not a camera, because a camera would be on the tree.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Right.
No, I mean like an old school camera.
Possible. It's hard to say what that is. Yeah, that's the same one she sent me yesterday, and I've never seen that photo.
That just doesn't look like a camera lens.
No. You go up near the cemetery.
Is it a bag? Could it be a bag?
Possible. If you go up to the corner of the cemetery at the ravine, you're going to find all kinds of stuff up there at that corner. Busted up TVs, old box TVs. You're
bikes.
All kinds of stuff right there at that corner.
But apparently this was part of the discovery or something.
Well, it looks like these black poles right there might be a fence of some sort. Yeah,
Yeah, this
those.
looks like a fence here.
Yeah. So if that's the case, that would be the separating the Mears and the Logan property, in my opinion. But I have never seen that tarp out there.
Yeah, we'll have to do a follow-up on that.
Oh, I can't wait till the 18th, bro. Get up there at the Supreme Court.
Is Richard Allen going to be there or no?
No.
Probably doesn't have to. Huh?
No, he didn't have to be there.
All right, let me go through this list. Was Abby the target? Marathon Gas, multiple people using the Anthony Shots account, log in, log out. Oh, the reason for the ski mask, we did touch on that, but I believe it's because if Richard Allen is the person who's holding one of Keegan-Klein's many devices and it's logged into his accounts, and he receives an email from this person, he's going to want to target that person. And Richard Allen or Keegan-Klein wouldn't even know. They said, well, you looked up this person's address, this family's address. Well, why would he do that? He knows where they live. He knew. He said he could go over there anytime he wanted.
Exactly, and that's why I don't. That's at the beginning when I heard that, I was like, then it wasn't Keegan then.
No, I think it was Richard Allen.
He clearly admitted, why would I have to look up their address when I've been there? I could just walk in it like it's my own home.
That's what he said. And he also, if you go back to their Facebook, there's a comment from Keegan-Klein from like 2016. And it says, "Thank you for everything that you've done for me." And he was talking to, basically, it almost sounds like they took care of him when he was a little kid.
Right.
Because in the transcript, he says he was friends with the daughter from that family in like 5th grade or some shit like that.
Right, right. But hey, bro, it was a good show today. I'm going to get out of here. Football Sunday.
All right, Frank. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. We're pretty much done anyway.
Yeah. One more thing. Tomorrow, I got to call Wabash again because I have not received those docs yet because the clerk's been sick. So I'm going to call tomorrow about Jordan Sofer and get those docs tomorrow if she's in the office. So
yeah, let me know when you get those. I'd like to talk to you about it.
Yeah, once I get them, I'll send them over to you. So,
all right, thank you.
No problem. But I appreciate you having me on. Good to see everybody today. I know everybody's been quiet the last few days, but it's the way it is with this case right now. So just be patient with everybody, guys. Have a good day, guys. Thanks.
Take care, Frank.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All righty, guys. We are going to start winding down. I'm just going to go through everything I got and make sure we covered everything. We got a little scattered a little bit, but I'm glad that happened. Frank was bringing up everything that I wanted to talk about. Let's go see what's going on with the chat. What's up, Anna? If Richard Allen was the creepy guy Anna is describing, surely she would have identified him as Richard Allen if he was. And she may have. And that's the question I have for Anna. Was that the same guy? Can you say yes or no? Frederica, Anna doesn't talk to anyone, kind of a cold lady. I mean, she talks, just not publicly. And if she disagrees with you, she'll tell you. Dora says, I think they went to the same school. Jill Moser, thank you, everyone. Matt was like my brother, was never told he passed, just found it out yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that, Jill. Sorry for your loss. What's up, ATS? Good to see you. Colette. Boston. Anna lost everything, her only child. The whole thing is tragic, but extra for her. What's up, Jari? I don't think there's much out there about her family. True Crime Obsessed, welcome. Did anybody else notice Judge Gall say Richard Allen was arrested for rape and murder? What do you mean true crime? Are you talking about the aggravating factor? Because I'm pretty sure that had everything to do with the abduction from the bridge, taking them from the bridge to a secondary location, and then they ended up being murdered. If he wouldn't have done that, they would still be alive. I think that's done because of the DNA and lack of some evidence. They don't need to prove certain things to make sure they can prove others. You know, like you're the guy on the bridge. Obviously, you have a gun in your hand. They may even show the bridge guy attacking one of the girls, or you can hear it happening. Because apparently they weren't listening to him. He was giving them instructions and they weren't taking him seriously. So he did something to make them listen. And that's why you have a space in between the guys and the down the hill stuff. Because guys is like, casual. Like guys, like, I'm here to harm you. You need to do what I say. They're like, what? What are you talking about? And they're not really listening. So then something happens that gets their attention and now they're listening. And that's why you hear the change in the voice. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button if you could on the way out. And if you are part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Leave me a comment. We'll get back to you. If you're not subscribed, hit that bell icon. And if you are subscribed, consider becoming a member. That's a good point, Molly. I recognized my parents' friends, people that came over, or they went to their houses when I was a kid. Some I knew very well. Some just knew who they were. Yeah, exactly. Like, how are you going to know if some creep, when you leave the room, is like, hey, how you doing? Are you on Snapchat? Or just, hi, how are you doing? Just slowly increasing the amount of communication. Before you know it, something awful has happened. There's a whole grooming process. And this poor girl may have even had a secret she didn't want to share with Libby. And then once she did, she could have begged Libby not to say anything. You cannot say anything. I'm trusting you. Okay, well, this is what we'll do. We'll come up with a plan. Well, while they were coming up with the plan, they were being catfished by the same person that caused their conundrum to begin with. And this person was catfishing them to glean information. Okay, I had you delete your phone 10 days prior to the murder. Did that do it? Am I safe? Or are they going to find out that I had an inappropriate relationship with this young girl and then my future's over? Well, I talked to them. They're going to delete their phone. They're going to do everything they can, and they're not going to tell on me. Okay, well, how can you be sure? I think that's where the Anthony Shots account comes in. They needed to glean information off of Libby to find out what their intentions were. And this is all just hypothetical. So feel free to poke holes in this theory in the comments if you'd like to. What's up, GP? Well, it's not going to be exact, Ray. if it's behind her backyard, technically it's still her backyard per se, right? Try to stay with me here.
Erroneous! Erroneous! Erroneous on both counts.
Oh, Lord.
How about that? What's up, Violet? What's up, Goat Dog? KK was terminally online. Everything that he shared was a lie. Not one thing he shared publicly was true. He's a total pathological liar, and he had several online aliases, both male and female. What's up, Thin Mint? Molly says, if multiple people were using the Anthony Shots account, did they cross paths with who they were catfishing? Maybe related to the KK interview, that it's two different people. Well, the part about what Allen-Klein says to investigators that I do believe is that he doesn't really realize what's going on. You know, he had multiple phones laying around. It sounds like a lot of drug use. He had his father was working the midnight shift. So I don't think Allen-Klein, even though he may have information and know who Richard Allen is, that may be it. He may not have anything other than that. Because I don't think this murder is the cause and the effect part of the Anthony Shots catfishing. I think there was a relationship, an inappropriate relationship that was going on between October and December of 2016. I believe this will be the missing piece to the story. Nothing really I can provide or wave around in the air to support that. That part is my hunch. It comes from a lot of time trying to consider what the hell would motivate somebody to commit this crime and how everything fits in. That's where I'm at, guys. Teropocene Predator, what's up? Welcome in. Good to see you. What's up, Teresa? Zero connection to the girls. Or KK? Evidence says sleuth intuition. What do you mean? What evidence? Devoted, do we know if she ever called police or did she just tell police? What's up, Miss Thang? Anna says, I'm surprised the associates of KK have not been notable, busted as suspects in the Delphi crime. Oh, Boston. Thank you, Boston. Shout out to Boston and Sensei for sponsoring today's live stream. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all your hard work, Sleuth. Thank you again, Sensei. And all your support. But we are going to get out of here, guys. Let me go ahead and grab a couple more comments before we get out. We'll go to Cindy Hudson. Sleuth, in the transcript, it says, I was supposed to meet that girl. Odd thing to say, and refers to her as Liberty. Do we know what name she went by to her friends? That may have just been the investigator using her name like that. But those are part of the conversations where Keegan's like, I don't know where that's coming from. Like, obviously somebody else is using the account, because I'm admitting to catfishing. I'm admitting to sextortion. I'm admitting to victimizing all these girls, and I'm going to face those charges. But I didn't have anything to do with this, and continually hints to other people using the Anthony Shots account. And if we have somebody logging in and logging out at 8 a.m., to me, that's not Keegan Klein. To me, it feels like somebody who's determined and is up ready to accomplish their goals, right? When you got things to do that day, what do? You wake up early. The early bird gets the worm. Getting ahead of things. Getting prepared. So it kind of fits in more with the, okay, let's meet at Marathon. Let me take this back road. Let me back into the CPS building. You know, it's basically the furthest place I can park without anybody really recognizing me or seeing my license plate. I can get out of my vehicle completely disguised and get back into my vehicle completely disguised, very far away from the crime scene. Now, for us, we go back and we look at the topographic maps and we're like, you know, it makes more sense. That doesn't mean that's what the killer did. Didn't have to. Spent a lot of time at the trails. If he's the, you know, the person who planned and committed the murder, Richard Allen was often at these trails. So it's, you know, I think that's where he started. His plan started there. Plan started with his fear of being turned in by, I believe, Abby for an inappropriate relationship that eventually, I believe, will come out during the trial or at some point. And then used the Anthony Shots profile as a tool to glean and lure to his predetermined location, the crime scene, a place that he's had a chance to investigate thoroughly. He's probably crossed that bridge, gone down to the south end, or even taken the trail on the north side that goes to the crime scene. Many times. Good point, Boston. So if you're out there living in Peru and you know Richard Allen and you know Tony Klein, shoot me an email. Or better yet, let law enforcement know. And then tell me. I believe that's what Richard Allen, or let's say Baldwin and Rosie, a.k.a. Richard Allen, that was the whole strategy. I want you looking over here so you don't find this connection over here. What's up? Hey, there's Mirror. This is how everything started last time. Well, he's referring to the search warrant and the Anthony Shots investigation. That's how it all started. And I believe the same person who was targeted in the ski mask incident is the same person that was communicating with the Anthony Shots profile after Libby died. Did you hear what happened to Liberty? Because Kelsey was communicating with the Anthony Shots account when she was missing. So this person would have been contacting Anthony Shots probably maybe the 14th. Did you hear what happened to Liberty? OMG, what happened? So now, if the killer's holding Keegan Klein's phone and Libby's friend is messaging the Anthony Shots profile asking, did you hear what happened? The killer's going to be like, oh shit, why is Libby's friend contacting this phone? How do they know Keegan Klein, or how do they even know the Anthony Shots profile? And how do they know that the Anthony Shots profile was communicating with Liberty? I need to talk to Keegan about this. Keegan Klein, who knows that you're Anthony Shots? Well, just one person that I know personally that I was targeting. Right? And that's what Keegan is trying to help in these interviews, possibly. But he's not going to come out flat out and snitch on somebody. But he sounds like he's trying to help. So the killer comes to Keegan Klein saying, who knows? He says, well, this one person, this one person, I know them personally and they're friends with Liberty. And they may know that I created the Anthony Shots account. I don't think so. but they may know that I created it. I'm friends with their whole family. Okay. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now, the only information Allen-Klein has to offer law enforcement in this scenario would be, well, this Richard Allen character came up to me asking me these weird questions. I didn't even know that he had access to the account. All I know is that he was asking questions about Liberty after her murder. And now you're talking about a ski mask incident. Pretty sure it was him. It might be, Molly. Time will tell. Frederica says, I think the prosecution is going to have a lot of evidence or Richard Allen is going to walk free. And if they don't have a lot of evidence, he should walk free. Right? If they can't prove he's a killer, he better walk free. Doesn't mean he won't be tried again if they find new evidence or whatever. But I feel that they're going to make a deal. Everything that we're talking about, I think, will eventually come out of Richard Allen's mouth. And he'll explain why he did what he did. Probably not all of it, but a lot of it. And hopefully the state of Indiana can avoid that costly trial and they can make maybe even another arrest. Agree to disagree. All right. Hey, Ruckus. Just stopped by to say hello in La La Land, all doped up. Yeah, how'd your surgery go, man? Did you get something done with your shoulder or something? Your vein or something? Shut down some veins? Close down one of your freeway systems in your leg? I know they do that often. Sensei says maybe Abby was the main target. As you say, Libby was the protector. Just creeps me out as to how she resembled his daughter. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's that part too. Very similar. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. I can just tell you what I think and what my gut tells me. The joy of freckles. I think Abby being redressed is why Carter said, I think you have some sense of humanity left. A little bit of conscience. Yeah, to me, it's like, I don't want you to be cold out here. But what happened to her other jacket? Where is it? Was it in the water somewhere? Was it somewhere just outside of the crime scene? I would like to know where the gray jacket was. And why that wasn't just put back on her. It's the monkey wrench right now and everything. I believe so, then. Goat Doc says maybe the only reason Anthony Schatz was communicating with Libby German was because he couldn't contact Abby directly due to the fact that she didn't have standard cell phone. Yeah, there is talk that she had some kind of a phone. Question is, how'd she get it? Who bought it? Where'd she find it? And it's not hard just to pick up a phone. But was it activated? Because nowadays all you need is Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. Yeah, Charlotte, I can see that. Definitely wanted to humiliate her. kind of like I told you what would happen if you messed with me. Almost like he's a big kid himself, you know, some violent kid. Number 3. If you watched the video, you would have heard what I said happened in number 3. Gotta listen. You didn't listen. What up, Matt? That was another rumor. Teresa, defense offering to go pro bono speaks volumes. If they didn't think he was innocent, they wouldn't offer that or work so hard. I disagree. I think they would. They were already working the case pro bono. Well, not really pro bono on the state's dollar, but they weren't getting really paid for it. Just the fees and things. Teresa says, Sleuth, you can take my wrench if you want. I like to be able to... What are you talking about? If anything, you'll lose your wrench for just being weird. I've known you for how long, Teresa? You're going to come in the chat and start being a weirdo? Wouldn't be the first time that happened. I mean, not with you. Wouldn't be the first time that happened with somebody that I've known in chat for a long time. And all of a sudden, they just start acting crazy. Anything I like. Crazy how all this information comes up unusable or missing. Here's a great point from Chorizo and Eggs. Don't take anyone's word for it. Listen and take what resonates and discard the rest. I agree. People need to chill with the notion only their thoughts are right. Exactly. And nobody's telling you that you're wrong. But you can't come in here and be like, I know for a fact. And just tell us why you think that. And we may be compelled. All right, let's go to one more. Go to a couple. Here's collateral damage. Welcome in. I don't usually chat, but didn't he would say more after his case was finalized? Yeah. And I think he tried to. But at this point, I don't think they need him anymore. Like, you had an opportunity to provide information that would have been helpful, but you didn't. Or you waited too long and we were able to get the information in another way. What's up, Robin? If the girls or their family knew Richard Allen prior to the case. I don't know. I think it's possible that Anna might. And that's why she's quiet. Like, I can't talk about that. And maybe it'll even give more weight to Abby being targeted. You're pretty good at anything. I think persistence is the key. ATS says possible connection. I do agree. It's there. We just got to find it. It's those things that are under the surface. That's where you online sleuths need to come in, not what's apparent and just kind of floating there. We need to go under a few layers. All right, guys, that's it for my time today. I really appreciate everybody who was able to participate. Please hit the like button on the way out, and replay, I'll get back to you. So leave me some comments and let me know what you think about today's live stream. I would really appreciate that. And stay tuned, members. We have a members meeting coming up randomly at some point today or tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that notification. Everybody else, I hope you had a safe weekend, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Peace.